Hey, what's going on, world? Nutrition and wellness guy here, Chef D, and we're in episode 9, which is fertility health. Welcome to this episode. This is my podcast, Nutrition and Wellness Guy podcast, and we're switching things up a little bit. We are going in a direction. We've been looking at your feedback and your comments, and we are abbreviating. Still a lot of good information, but we're packing it in, and we're now going to start separating our conversation with our guests and our experts in another episode, which is called Coach's Corner, which releases the day after this one, which are usually Fridays. So I'm excited that we're getting to this point of growth. Thank you so much for your feedbacks. Trust me, I look at your emails, I look at your comments, your direct messages, and thanks to you being a very important part of this community, we are switching it up, and I think it's in a really amazing direction. Even this week, if you've been following us, we have been dropping some great content. We have been making sure it's more packed and concise because we value your time a lot more too. So let's just get right into it. So this is fertility health. And this is a really taboo conversation sometimes because what usually happens when you talk about fertility health, common talk is just for women. So it's more about their cycles, their ovulation and things of that nature. So in this particular episode, what we're going to do is recap on 3 red flags, common red flags that happen with men and women when it comes to fertility issues. We're going to also talk about 3 micro habits that you can start today to get that part of your life on track. So if you are in the process of conceiving or you want to stay ready so you don't have to get ready kind of thing, you might definitely want to check out what those 3 things are going to be. And then last but not least, I dropped 3 superfoods or 3 natural whole foods that you and your partner can take, especially if you're planning to conceive. If you just want your hormones in check, if you just want to be balanced, we're going to talk about that. And I'm also going to talk about what are some fertility functions, because you hear fertility, but let's talk about what it really means. Again, I'm no doctor. This is for educational purposes only. On Coach's Corner, we have someone coming in who is an expert on fertility health. So we're going to go a little bit deeper. We will ask her some questions in regards to what some of you've had and some questions I have when it comes to fertility health. But what I know as a nutritionist, as a certified personal trainer, and as a behavior change specialist, there are some things in the naturopathic community that we talk about and that's been researched and evidence-based that I do want to share with you in this episode. So let's get right into it. So for starters, 3 red flags your fertility might be struggling. Number 1, for ladies, irregular, light or heavy period. So when it's not a consistency and all over the place, it could be a sign that ovulation may not be consistent. This is something you might want to get checked out as a flag. It may not be a red, it may also be a yellow flag for you. But if you're in the process of conceiving or you want to make sure that you have good fertility health and you're having all types of cycles, I mean heavy, like you say, light, irregular, this is something that you might want to pay attention to. Another thing for men, that your fertility might be struggling, low libido, erectile or ED, erectile issues or dysfunctions, shrinking testicles. These are issues with the testosterone and the sperm count, and this could be a signal that your fertility health or your fertility support could be off. Oftentimes, it may just be the woman, and sometimes we don't look at it being the man. So again, no shame and no blaming. What we're doing is talking about things that we all have control over so we can support our partner and support ourselves for better health. And number 3, red flag is when there's constant fatigue, high stress, or poor sleep. Again, this all points to cortisols, which is out of the adrenals. So you want to make sure that your cortisol levels are balanced and are healthy. So high stress situations, when it comes to poor sleep, these are things that will affect fertility health. And again, we didn't talk about anything particularly diet yet. We're just talking about lifestyle things to consider when we're talking about fertility support and fertility health. And here's a quick fact. 40% of couples facing infertility have issues on both sides. It's not just one partner, as sometimes we hear propagandized in the media. I don't know if that's a word. I kind of like it. But the propaganda sometimes is, again, it's just woman, woman, woman. But men, we also have a huge role to play when it comes to supporting fertility. Now, those were the 3 red flags. Let's get into what are some 3 micro habits, some powerful micro habits that you can start right away to support fertility health. So one, and don't come at me, coffee people, but swapping coffee afternoon. So after you had your cup of coffee or 2 or 3, no shame, in the morning time, when you get past 12 o'clock, you want to now switch out that caffeine source, and you want to start looking at herbal teas, and maybe other adaptogens that will support boosting energy if that's what you're doing coffee for. Caffeine late in the day messes with stress hormones, and it also taps in and affects the cortisol that we're talking about. Again, if you looked at some of the other episodes, you want your cortisol to start balancing out at the end of the evening, so that way your body's becoming more relaxed and you're having a better supported sleep health. Number 2, what you want to do before bed to also support that sleep health and support that fertility health, 5 minutes of deep breathing before bed. Sometimes we have some high wired lives. I mean, parents, newlyweds, people who work late and are in school, who start a new business, or just people who are really out here supporting their family. By the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, it's nonstop. However, we have to put us first so that way we can support the people who count on us. So with fertility health, again, if that's something that you want to be more intentional on, one thing to help with the cortisol levels and better sleep is before you go to bed, you want to start bringing your body down to a calm. Yeah, you had your chamomile tea already. You may have had your magnesium supplement and whatever else you use to kind of lull yourself down. But breath work, deep breath work, 5 to 10 minutes goes a long way, where you're just intentionally zoning everything out and you're getting to a place where you're this literally lowers the cortisol and really reduces your stress levels. And this in support helps with fertility health. I even felt calm now. All right, but let me bring it back up because we still got a show to do. And number 3, eat selenium and zinc-rich seeds like Brazil nuts or pumpkin seeds. They boost egg and sperm quality naturally. So this is a good one as far as selenium-rich foods. I like eating eggs, and I like eating leafy greens and eating broccoli and other things. We'll talk about top 3 foods next. But you want to find these foods that have that selenium because it has been reported scientifically and evidence-based that it does support fertility health, both in men and in women. Now, fertility isn't about extremes. These micro habits stack over time. So these are just a few micro habits that are powerful enough that you can do today, but also reasonable, that's going to support you on the long run. Now, I mean, it's not one of those things. Again, these are not to cure or diagnose or treat any fertility issues you may have. That's when you're going to talk with your professional. But we're talking about maintenance right now, and we're talking about prevention, and we're also talking about support and strategy. That's what the coach is here for. So these are some micro habits you can look at with your partner, or just as you're getting ready for conception. These are things that you can consider when it comes to micro habits. Now, last but not least, top 3 fertility boosting foods. And we released this on Wednesday on Instagram, TikTok, even LinkedIn and YouTube. These videos, if you want to see these more visual, I'm a visual learner. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're releasing, on Mondays, we release 3 red flags. Tuesdays, we release 3 micro habits. And on Wednesdays, we release top 3 foods. So if you like the visual and, me a little more animated as we talk about these, and really quick and to the point, check out our other platforms. You can find us all. If you just Google at Nutrition and Wellness Guy or Nutrition and Wellness Guy, it should pop up. And with these fertility boosting foods, number 1, pasture raised eggs. So I like eggs. But for me, I need them to be pasture raised and I need them to be organic. I want to have a good feeling inside that the chickens are in a very healthy, promoting environment. I don't want to eat eggs that have been stressed out. I don't want the chickens all cooped up and their hormones are all over the place because they're being fed cheap stuff. I don't want them stressed out and all over the place because they are packed tight and they don't have the environment to support a great life. Think about it. Think about you and think about if you had to conceive or if you had to produce in a stressful environment. Those hormones are going to pass on into whatever product that you are producing. So think about it that way. So I don't want my meat stressed out. I don't want my eggs stressed out. I want them in a pasture-raised organic environment. That's if you can afford it. I know some people's budgets are not where they want it to be right now. So you might just have to get you some eggs, some grade AA eggs, or you might have to get you some just eggs, but get you some eggs. I like pasture-raised, but this is a food that has the choline plus the protein to support egg health and sperm. And this is a good food that you can start. You can do it right away. I know people talk about cholesterol, but it's all in moderation. Another food, number 2, is avocados. Avocados are a healthy fat for estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. These are supportive for fertility health. Who would have known? Like, I love guacamole. I love avocado, and it's such a healthy fat. So add that to your list if you're trying to work on fertility health and support. And the third food that has been searched and researched as far as boosting fertility support is broccoli and leafy greens. This is the selenium thing we're talking about with the Brazil nuts as well and pumpkin seeds. Now, folate and fiber for detox. This is one of those things where you're introducing variety into your diet and your lifestyle. So that way you're supporting your eggs and you're supporting your sperm quality naturally. Again, we said that about the Brazil nuts. We said that about the pumpkin seeds. But this is also for detox. This is making sure that your organs are regulated properly. This is for hormone balance. We spoke about adrenal support earlier on in other podcast episodes. We talked about gut health, sleep health, immune health. This speaks to that. This is all in alignment on producing a vessel that can produce life, healthy life. And also for preconception support. Did you know fertility-friendly foods help both men and women prepare the body for pregnancy? So again, there are fertility experts and doctors out there. And if you want to be better prepared for that consultation, for that sit down with them, if you are having complications with conceiving, or you just want to know, these are some lifestyle strategies you can do. And these are all part of just trying to be healthy anyway. You know what I mean? These are not, I didn't promote a particular product that you can go out and buy. There's no sponsorship. There's no promotional banner at the top because what I'm mentioning is everything that nature has to offer that you can just go out and get. Now, I ain't telling you go steal eggs, by the way, but you know what I mean. These don't take a doctor's signature to get. Now, when it comes to fertility health, let's finish it off with this, the functions of fertility health. So fertility is a whole body signal. So this means hormones, nervous system, where the nutrient status is, are you absorbing? Are you deficient? This is all in line with your fertility health. How healthy are you when it comes to fertility? There's labs and tests that you can do for biomarkers to see where you are. Gentlemen can know about their sperm count, their T count. Women can, know about your estrogen levels. You can also know about your egg, quality. And just there's so many tests out there. And that's something you would want to do if you're getting serious about conception. However, what I'm sharing with you now is just the function, things to keep in mind on what it actually is. Another thing in women, when you talk about fertility health, you want to know what your cycles are like. You want to know what your egg quality is like. You want to know what your ovulation is like. I know some women say, oh, I'm ovulating, and other women are like, what's that? You'll be surprised. Even with me coaching clients, females sometimes, because I don't shy away from that stuff. I want to know, especially as a nutritionist, I want to know what lifestyle strategies can I give my clients to support them when they are in ovulation stage, when they are getting ready to conceive. So when it comes to fertility health, this is something that you might want to have an idea about when it comes females, when it comes to what ovulation is for you and what does that look like. And fellas, the best thing you could do is support that. Also know what that looks like and be in support, because again, it's a team effort, especially it takes two to make a baby. I know, scientists and AI is working on other ways around that. But traditionally right now, it takes two. And there's so many ways to make two, make a baby. But I'm just saying from a healthy standpoint of just making sure that the body's in a great state to consider bringing another life to this world. That's where we're coming from. We're not getting too deep in it, Another thing when it comes to fertility health for men, this is more of your T count, your testosterone. As we get older, that becomes a consideration as far as becoming lower or becoming an issue as far as balance. So it's something you want to keep an eye on. You want to get that tested. You don't want to wait till you're old. Testosterone levels do start to reduce as you're getting older, and you even in your 30s, as you're starting to get older, that does become an issue. That's where erectile dysfunction comes in and other sexual health issues come in. Another thing for men is your sperm count and your motility. So you also want to have a better idea of what is your sperm count. Sometimes you get to a point where you feel, well, it still gets up. Oh, it still gets up. It's still ready to go. My soldier's still ready to go. That may be true, but what is your sperm count? What is your sperm quality? Because even though you're ready to go, may not mean that you have healthy sperm or a healthy sperm count. So these are all topics and conversations. We don't want these to be taboo. We want these to be things that we talk about openly and still get to learn. That's why I'm excited about Coach's Corner. So when I do sit down with my guest, Mindy, we're going to really get to go a little deeper in this, because I do have some questions, and I'm sure you have some questions as well, because I saw it in your I saw the DM, I saw the emails, and we both want to uncover this because we do not want fertility health. We don't want sexual health. We don't want reproduction to be so taboo. We don't want it to be like a birds and a bee conversation growing up, and it's something you just don't want to talk on. We want to talk about this just as much as we talk about diabetes and hypertension and mental health, because guess what? The body is prepared to do a lot of stuff, but we have to set it up for success. And that's pretty much it. Again, I hope you got some value out of today's podcast. I kept it light for a reason, because I'm excited about going deeper with our Coach's Corner episode with our guest who does specialize in fertility. She has her own fertility practice in California. And I'm excited about that. But if you have any questions that you want us to bring up in that conversation, that episode drops tomorrow. Drop it in the comments. If you're listening to this on Spotify, iHeart, or Apple Podcasts, feel free. I always have an email address in the description. So feel free to send us an email with your question. We'll try our best to answer it. Again, check us out on YouTube. That's Nutrition and A&D Wellness Guy Podcast, or the channel itself is just Nutrition and Wellness Guy. You should find us on there. TikTok, Instagram, same thing, at Nutrition and Wellness Guy. We're very excited about this next chapter on where our community is going. Thank you for being a beautiful part of this. And remember, health is wealth, and I'm just here to make sure you're getting paid. Until next time, yum on.